Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet right here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight we have a special guest with us. We have Georg Wilfinger of Raising the Veil and Monument of Misanthropy. Welcome to the show, Georg.
Cheers from Europe, Jet, and thanks a lot for having me on your show tonight.
Now, before we talk about Monument of Misanthropy, tell us a little bit about Raising the Veil and your new CD that you guys have out now.
Well, Chad, as you and maybe some of our listeners know, Raising the Veil has released a new CD last year. I had to change the lineup completely after 2012 CP Yucatanimus, which on one side was sad because the EP was pretty well accepted by all tech death fans. On the other hand, I was lucky to welcome Romain Goulon, the drummer of Necrophagist, on board of Raising the Veil, and we also have two new awesome musicians from Canada on board, Metal Magdalene and on guitar, and bass player Dennis Landry. The CD is called the Bosonic Quantum Phenomena and is mainly atmospheric technical death with some clean walks here and there. It's a bit less brutal than the previous EP, more intricate and fussier. So you definitely have to let it grow on you, but that was all done on purpose. I guess we didn't want to sound like some other generic clone of some existing tech death band. We wanted to experiment a bit, and Bosonic Quantum Phenomena is quite a cool result. As if you ask me, plus the lyrics also play a very important role. Again, the lyrics dig down deep into physical, some would say metaphysical phenomena that our brains are probably not designed to comprehend. And some lyrics also pretty personal, like Many Worlds Nostalgia. If you read the lyrics, you will know what I mean. So if you're into experimental, proggy, some kind of atmospheric tech death, with lyrics that inspire maybe your imaginations and go beyond the normal thought patterns, this album might really grow on you. And for the die-hard blast beat lovers, we also have the Yucatanimus EP included to the album, as it has never been released earlier physically and was only available digitally. The cover artwork was done by Rémi Cubayer. It's fantastic as always. It shows a humanity entity explaining the quantum entanglement phenomenon and the behavior of entangled particle pairs. So if you or anyone wants to grab a copy of this Bosonic Quantum Phenomena CD, just Google Raising the Veil and Big Cartel and you'll find our official web store immediately, I guess.
Okay, Georg, so your latest release from Monument of Misanthropy, Anger Mismanagement. Now, what is the lineup on that album, and is it the same lineup that you guys currently have now?
Well, yes and no. Of the original recording lineup, only guitarist and co-founder JP and I are still in the band. Romain Goulon, who also played drums on the Monument of Misanthropy full length, is not on board anymore. Romain is pretty busy with all kinds of band projects and is also looking to join some more well-known and label-signed band. So JP and I decided to join forces with Otago's drummer Julien Elvin and also ex-Miasma bandmate, my comrade Johnny Petrascu. And we also have a new bass player on board. It's called Eric Cheneset of Brutal Avengers. This lineup constellation seems to get along pretty well musically as well as on personal terms. We are always having lots of fun together, and that's what matters in the end.
All right, Georg, so give us a little history on Monuments of Misanthropy and how you all met up to form this band and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the history of Monument of Misanthropy started many years ago with Romain Goulon and JP. They were jamming together even before Romain got famous for drumming with Necrophagist. Unlike Necro, the stuff JP and Romain played at that time was pretty much brutal death with some kind of old school death metal and grindcore vibes. brutal and fast, with some kind of napalm death and terrorizer groove in it, if you ask me. One day JP called me and asked me if I wanted to try out some vocals on a few songs he had pre-produced with Romain, and I of course said, why not? I mean, I liked it, the brutality and the straight-in-your-face punch of the tracks. So for all of us in Monument of Misanthropy, the album is also a kind of tribute to the early glory days of pure and unpretentious death metal of the 90s, which defined all of us as being young musicians at that time. And I think it comes along pretty good.
So George, who was involved in the writing process, and how did you go about writing this album?
As far as I know, JP has been writing most of the stuff together with Romain at that time. As for the writing process, well, it's pretty easy and uncomplicated, to be honest. JP comes up with an idea, sometimes already with a completely finished song, with programmed drums on it maybe, and then I sit down listening and getting first ideas. Where to do what kind of vocals, like deep growls or high screams, fast or slow stuff, etc. Afterwards, I'm already at the point where I start writing the lyrics to the vox patterns I have in mind, and record the drafts for the others to say yes or no. And then drums get done and the pre-production is finished for a song.
So tell us a little bit about the recording process. Where was it recorded and who mixed and mastered it?
JP and Romain recorded the tracks in their home studios in southern France, while I recorded vocals back home in Austria with Stefan Kaschel at Audio Riot Studios. The mixing and mastering of the whole production then was handled in Germany by Christoph Brandes of Iguana Studio, and all of them, I guess, did a really awesome job.
Okay, so I'm looking at the cover art here. Explain to us what this cover art depicts and who was the artist.
Well, the cover artwork was done again by our good friend Rémi Cuvelier of Headsplit Design Paris. I've been working with him, as you know, with all past 5 albums I've done so far over the years, and Rémi really never disappoints. He's really nailing it all the time. And on the Anger Mismanagement album, the cover depicts the monument of misanthropy itself, a monstrous creature leaving a trail of devastation and destroying all human life on Earth. And also on the cover backside, you will find a cut of head, which hints at a song Bring Me the Head of LGG. I'm leaving it to your imagination who that might be.
Okay, George, so for people that want to pick up some merchandise or a copy of this CD, where can they do so? What's the best place to go pick up a copy of the CD?
The album, as you may remember, was crowdfunded by the fans of Monument of Misanthropy, and therefore printed in a very small and limited edition. We have our own shop again on Big Cartel. So if you Google Big Cartel and Monument of Misanthropy, you will quite easily find also the official Monument of Misanthropy web store. You can grab your copy of the CD there, and also some teas we have.
Okay, so now Monument of Misanthropy has a little tour coming up. Tell us all about that, George.
Well, yes indeed, Jet, and we are all really stoked about having the chance to support Suffocation, Cattle Decap and Abiotic on the Tyrants of Death European tour, which is coming this March. We're all fans of these excellent US bands and are really looking forward to tear shit up in Europe together. The tour will kick off in Warsaw, Poland on the 2nd of March, and will end on March 25 in Oslo, Norway, at the Inferno Festival. The tour will be haunting venues in Czech Republic, Germany, Austria, Italy, Slovenia, France, Switzerland, Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden and Norway. As for Monument of Misanthropy, we have a special gift for all who come out to see us, and have a brand new Save the Planet, Kill All Humans t-shirt printed. It's again printed limited edition, so come to the shows and grab it there, as long as it's there.
And again, George, what sites can people go to learn more about the tour and other information about Monuments of Misanthropy?
You can find all infos about the upcoming tour on our Facebook, Twitter, and Reverb Nation side, as well as on Massive Music's site. Massive Music is handling the managing of the tour, so you'll find all informations on Massive Music as well.
Okay, George, well, thank you for giving us all a little update on Monument of Misanthropy as well as Raising the Veil, and have fun out there on tour and be safe.
Well, thanks a lot, Jed. It was my pleasure to talk to you. All the best to you and the entire Metal Messiah team. Stay brutal.